Hello everyone. So till now in current electricity we already discussed Ohm's law, the combination of resistance, cell and the combination of cells. And in today's video we are going to learn about heating effect of electric current, power consumptions in the combination of resistance. So watch the video till the end, subscribe the channel, and for further details you can also visit our website newerasolutions.in. So the first topic is heating effect of electric current, which is also known as Joule heating effect, because we know when some current flows through a conductor due to the collision of charged particle, or you can say due to the resistance, some heat is produced inside the conductor, and this effect is considered as Joule effect or Joule heating effect. As we already discussed, when due to potential difference electron move with high kinetic energy, they also collide with the ions or atom of the metal, and due to this the heat is produced inside the conductor and it heats up. If we want to calculate the amount of heat produced inside a conductor, then we can obtain it by finding the work done. So the work is always equal to the charge flow due to the potential difference. As we know, due to flow of charge, current is produced, which is charge upon time. So Q is the charge flow due to potential V in time t, for which W is the amount of work is done. Then by putting the value of charge, we get the work is equal to I V T, and that work is converted into heat. So the heat is considered as VIT. So this is the amount of heat produced in the conductor with the flow of current. From the Ohm's law, we know that the voltage is equal to current into resistance. By putting the value of potential in that, we get heat is equal to I square RT. So for a fixed amount of current, the heat produced is I square RT. Similarly, if we replace the current by the formula V by R, we obtain another formula of heat V square by R into T. So from these formulas we get different observations, like if the current in the system is constant, then heat production is directly proportional to resistance. But if the potential of the system is constant, then heat production is inversely proportional to resistance. So the dependency of heat on resistance vary with the variation of current or the variation of potential. So the next topic is electric power. So electric power can be defined for both source as well as the device. If we consider about source, the electric power of source is the rate of work done by the source to maintain the electric current through the circuit. And similarly, for the electric device, the electric power is the rate at which energy is converted from one form to another by the device. So in both the case, electric power is basically the rate of work done. So as we know, the work done is VIT, which we get from the formula work done is equal to charge into potential. Then from the definition of electric power, which is the rate of work done, P is equal to W by T. So electric power is VI. Then again, by using Ohm's law, we also have V is equal to IR. Then the second form of electric power is I square into R, or the third form is P is equal to V square by R. So by using these three formulas, we can obtain the electric power of a system. So again, if we observe, for a constant current, the electric power is directly proportional to resistance, but for a constant potential, electric power is inversely proportional to the resistance. So for different combination, the dependency of electric power and the resistance vary. For the electrical devices, we also use a particular term that is called power rating of the device. So power rating of the device is basically the amount of energy consumed per second by the device at a fixed voltage. So the voltage is already marked on the device. So if you observe on all the devices like electrical charger, bulb, fan, there's already electric power, voltage and current are mentioned, which shows that when that device used at that particular voltage, it shows that much power. That means it consumes that much amount of energy in 1 second. So for a particular marked voltage, the power of a device is V square by R. So that is the formula which we used at a fixed voltage to find the exact power of the device. Now we can also find the power of a circuit which have more than one resistance which are connected in series or in parallel. Now let's find what is the power of a circuit when two resistors are connected in series. So as we have two resistors R1 and R2 which have power rating P1 and P2 when they are operated at a potential V. So if they are connected in series and they operate at same potential to show their power, then the initial power of each device are V square by R1 and for second device P2 is V square by R2. So when they are connected in series, then the total power in series is also equal to total voltage supply upon total resistance. Now in series combination of resistance, the total resistance is the sum of individual resistance. So if we put the value of these three resistance from these three formulas, we get Rs is equal to V square by total power, then R1 is equal to V square by P1 and R2 is equal to V square by P2. As V is common, that is cancel out. So the net power in series is 1 upon P1 plus 1 upon P2. So we observe that the reciprocal of power consumption of circuit is the sum of reciprocal of each individual power of the circuit. So from that formula we also observe that when the identical devices used in series combination, then the effective power is power of one device upon total number of devices used. In that case, as the current in series is same, so the device with lowest voltage shows highest brightness and it will damage first if current exceeded. Now let's calculate the effective power when two resistors are connected in parallel combination. So we have two resistors R1 R2 shows effective power P1 and P2 when operated at common potential V if they are connected parallel to a source of potential V. In that case, the initial power of each devices are V square by R1 and the power of second device is V square by R2. Similarly, the final effective power in parallel combination is applied potential upon total resistance. Now from the parallel combination of resistance, we have the reciprocal of net resistance is the sum of reciprocal of each resistance. So as we observe from these three formulas, we multiply with V square on both the side and we get V square by Rp is equal to V square by R1 plus V square by R2. Then V square by Rp become the final power in parallel combination. Then it is the first power, it is the power of second device. So if you observe, the effective power in parallel combination is the sum of individual power of each the device. In that case, it shows that the maximum voltage device have the lowest resistance. If the current exceed the maximum voltage device is damaged first. That's why in domestic circuits all the devices are used in parallel combinations. So in an electrical circuit, we always use a cell or a battery as a EMF source which have a particular efficiency. So if we want to calculate the efficiency of a source, let a cell of EMF E having internal resistance small r and it is connected to an external resistance capital R. I is the current flowing through the circuit and V is the terminal potential acquired across external resistance. Then efficiency of the source is defined as the ratio of output power with the input power of the source. So then the output power is due to the external potential difference, which is known as the terminal potential difference, that is V into I, and the input power is due to the total potential, which is known as EMF, that is EI. As the current is same inside or outside the cell, so I is cancel out and efficiency is equal to external potential upon internal potential, or you can say terminal potential upon EMF. Then we also know that potential is equal to I into R from Ohm's law, and the current is the total EMF upon the total resistance. By putting this value in the above case, we get efficiency is equal to R EMF R plus R into E. So EMF is cancelled out and the efficiency of the source is external resistance upon the sum of internal as well as external resistance. So by using the external and internal resistance, we can find the efficiency of the device. Now let's discuss the maximum power theorem. So for a source, the power delivered is maximum only when the external resistance we use is equal to the internal resistance of the device. That means according to this theorem, the source of EMF delivered maximum power when it is used with the external resistance which is having the same value as its internal resistance. So let's verify the theorem and check what is the maximum power delivered by the cell. For that, we consider a cell of EMF E, internal resistance R connected with external resistance capital R, and I is the current flowing through the circuit. Now the power delivered by the cell to the external resistance is I square into R. As we are using external resistance, so we are finding the output power of the circuit. Then the current we obtain is the EMF upon the total resistance. By putting the value of current, we get output power is equal to EMF square upon R plus small r square into external resistance. By solving this, we get square of E into R upon R square plus 2R capital R. Now by adding minus 2R capital R and plus 2R capital R, we get R square plus small r square minus 2R small r plus 4R capital R. In that case, that term form E square by R upon R minus small r square plus 4R capital R. Now from that given formula, we observe that the power is maximum if that term decrease. So to minimize that term, we assume small r is equal to capital R, because in that case the output power represent the maximum value. So to make that term 0, r is equal to small r. By putting that value in the above case, we get the maximum power delivered by the cell is EMF square into small r upon 4R square. So 1R is cancelled out. So the maximum power delivered by the cell is equal to EMF square by R multiplied by 4. So if you observe that the maximum power delivered by the cell is 1 by 4 times the input power of the cell. So the maximum power cell can be delivered is just 25% of its original power. And if we want to find the efficiency of the device in that particular condition, so efficiency is capital R upon capital R plus small r, as we previously discussed. So when these two resistance are same, efficiency is equal to R upon 2R, so that is half. So the cell is just 50% efficient when the maximum power is delivered. So these are the concepts related to electric power and heating effect of electric current, for which you can calculate the efficiency, the power delivered, the heat dissipated in a circuit for a given set of resistance. Besides from that, we can also discuss the application of heating effect of electric current as well as its limitation. So in your household, there are various devices which work on heating effect of electric current, like electric iron, geyser, toaster, etc. Even the electric fuse is also work on heating effect of electric current, where due to exceed amount of current, the wire used in fuse is melt and break the circuit. Then there is also the limitation of heating effect of electric current. As you observed, when you use your mobile, laptop or any electrical devices, they heated up due to the flow of current, which reduce the efficiency and the life of the device. Then there is also the short circuiting is the main problem caused by heating effect of electric current, due to which excess amount of heat is produced by the flow of excess current, which cause severe damages. So in everyday basis, we observe various type of devices which offer resistance. But if you observe an electrical circuit used in electrical devices, then there are some carbon resistors are used which have particular color bands on them. So these are the shape of a carbon resistor. There are some colorful bands over it. These colorful bands represent the approximate resistance of this carbon resistor. So these colors are form a particular code, and that code can be memorized by this table. So there are 10 colors with their respective symbols are converted into number and multiplier, and then there are 3 colors with their respective tolerance, which is used to find the error. So in the color coding, the first 2 color represent the first 2 significant figures, the third color represent the multiplier, and the fourth color represent the tolerance, or you can say the error in the resistance. So to illustrate that, let a carbon resistor having 4 color, and the first color is red, the second color is brown, the third color let's assume is yellow, and the fourth color is silver. So if there are 4 colorful bands on the carbon resistor, in that case the first color red is in the number 2. The brown color represent in the number that is 1. So 2 and 1 become 21. Into the third color represent the multiplier. So yellow means the multiplier has 10 raised to power 4. Then for tolerance, that means error, plus minus silver. Silver represent the tolerance of 10%. That means that given carbon resistor have the resistance 21,000 plus minus 10%. So that's how you can calculate the resistance of a carbon resistor. Now to memorize that complete table, we have a shortcut by which you can remember all the numbers and multiplier. So as we convert these color into symbols, so you can memorize it like this: B.B. Roy of Great Britain had very good wife wearing gold silver necklace. Again, B.B. Roy of Great Britain had very good wife wearing gold silver necklace. So these 10 color represent the number, and these 3 color gold, silver and no color represent the tolerance or error. Let's take one more example. Like if we have the resistance of a carbon resistor that is 32 into 10 raised to power 1 plus minus 5%, then we can predict the color of that carbon resistor, where 3 the number represent orange color, so the first band is orange. 2 represent the red color, so the second band is red. 10 raised to power 1, that means the multiply 10 to the power 1 represent the brown color, so first is orange, then red, then brown, and plus minus 5%. 5% is the tolerance of gold color. So you can code or decode the resistance of a carbon conductor by using this concept.